Hello world, this is Shruti Pandey and today I have with me Varalakshmi, who is the head of community at Habitate. And I find her profile so interesting and I want to thank Kristen for connecting me with her or giving me her reference really, because I saw here another amazing girl who is so talented, who is not just good at what she does at her office in community and success and building community and stuff, but she's also a lyric writer at different places. And if I were, I would probably ask her to sing or like pen something for us and something, but not wanting to put her in the spot. So, Vara, thank you so much for giving me your time and agreeing to answer my questions.
Thank you so much for that introduction because Saturday afternoon, it's very hot. And then that introduction made me feel so good. I feel like, all the fans are like around me now.
I don't know. It just came out of heart. I don't do anything which is, like not myself. So I don't know. It really came out of my heart. I don't have a brain, is what I say. So it definitely came from there. And the moment I really saw your profile, I was like, wow, she's so multi-talented. And I know this is probably going to piss you off, but I'll still say it because I want to see your reaction. So you are literally the first female on my podcast until now. I've been doing a couple of episodes and you are literally the first one. I mean, I don't know. I get very pissed when people, in the organizations are like, you are the first female in our team, you're the first, and etc. etc. So, yeah, I thought of doing that with you and I apologize, but really, thank you. It means a lot for for you to coming on this platform and giving me your time. It feels like I'm talking so much. I don't usually do this. Do you want to take the limelight and say something?
No. I think limelight is shared between both of us. You're the host. I'm here to chat with you. I know that this is an interview, but still, like, I just consider this like, a conversation with you. And I'm so happy, despite first women or whatever it is. It's good. It's good to be like chatting with fellow women who also understands community. And I think I should really thank Tristan also because he's such an amazing soul. He has put me in touch with so many amazing people, and I'm so happy that I'm in touch with you. That's why the moment you like reached out, I'm like, definitely, I'm not going to even spare. You don't have to spare any detail. I'm in.
Oh gosh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your spontaneity. So, do you mind if we start the questions? Like, are you ready?
Yes, anytime.
Okay. So my first question for you is, how different is customer success from community building? How
I
different
think
is customer success from community building?
I think there are similarities, there are differences. I think the one major difference that I find personally is, I mean, there is a lot of silo in customer success, while community building actually like plugs that silo. Basically, a lot of customer success, I mean, like a lot of SaaS companies are actually investing in customer success based community in order to increase renewals and upsells and specifically build a very good rapport with their customers, because every single SaaS total foundation is nothing but recurring relationships, and then that recurring relationship is basically like enhanced by customer success right now. But I think when customer success is doing alone, it feels like they're pulling in a heavy lift. It's like heavy lifting, and then there is one customer success professional, there is another customer success professional. Almost they do pretty much the same process, but they're doing with in different places at different time. But you need to have that because there needs to be a personal connect with the customers. But at the same time, when you bring in community building over there, it kind of enhances your purpose of building that recurring relationship. It becomes easier. Like you asked me difference, I'm trying to say the process over here and probably like say the difference. The one major difference is silo, definitely. So community building is actually like plugging in that silo, and that doesn't mean customer success is always siloed. It varies from one organization to another organization. So I'm not saying that every customer success based company or someone who's looking into the subscription base which needs customer success apparently, it is not necessary for them to completely go for community building unless or otherwise they want to scale. if they, I mean, like, you have just 10 customers, 12 customers, and then you're doing customer success that way without community building, go ahead, that's amazing. But when you're having more customers into picture, and you would want to like expand your business, and when you would want to not just run but change the course of your business, then I think that's where the community building plays a very vital role.
No, I definitely support and echo your sentiment, because 3 years back, this sounds repetitive for me now, but 3 years back when I started solutions engineering, people in India specifically don't know these roles, be it solutions, be it customer success. So I understand how difficult a job for this is, because community building is thought of as another ball game altogether. Then there is the renewals, the recurrence, because okay, you've done the sale, it has to keep coming, it has to keep flowing, and it's again all is really relationship, pre-sales, post-sales, between the sales. So I know when you spoke of the heavy lifting task, when you emphasize, and I'm so glad somebody understands this, because I and I'm glad that you're coming to answer these questions for us, because people think all of this is so easy, and like, what do you really have to do as a community person or a solutions or a customer success? But there is so much of work, hard work, and also care, concern for people who we are doing this for. So thank you so much, Vara, really, for answering that so promptly and so beautifully, and making us aware of those aspects, really.
Also, I would like to add one more thing, if you may allow me to. So to people who is not little bit aware of customer success and community building as such, pretty much the definition is like the same. Customer success, it has in itself, right? Like, you are working towards the success of your customers, right? And community building is all about the same thing. Whoever your members, your customers, you are actually like building a community where you would want your customer to succeed, where you want to like, and how that success is happening is by building a relationship, right? And then when you, instead of building relationship with one-to-one alone, you are actually normalizing the aspect of building one to many, many to many, because conversations and dialogue move your relationship from one place to another, right? And it kind of helps you see a lot of advocates, like, who said your customers can't be your advocates? Who said your customers can't be a great source of revenue? Existing customers, when they spread word of mouth, positive word of mouth, it is very easy for you to get referrals without having to push so much of referral marketing, without so much of budget around marketing as such. It may look like a lot of work at this particular point of time, but maybe 3 years or 4 years down the line, you would basically thank yourself if you already starting it. If you're not going to start it, maybe 2-3 years down the line, please do start it. That's what I would want to let people know.
To start it then. 2-3 years down the line, it would become like a trend, because then they'll be like, yes, we want to probably invest in the typical marketing strategies, but okay, this is free of cost. Really, it's all word of mouth and people using our platform. And yes, everything is going to take time, it's not going to be overnight, but this is a good way to start. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You really are a true advocate for customer success and making them successful, really. Habitat is lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Let those people listen to this.
Yes, definitely. Definitely give me a hike.
I don't know. All of this is really very naturally coming. Okay. So, yeah. Anyways, moving on to my second question. What are the top internal organizational challenges while building a community?
Everything is a challenge while building a community. I think one major thing is that making them understand the concept and how beneficial it is when you have a community, because community is a lot of work, as we discussed, right? So it involves a lot of effort, bandwidth, resources. And every time I talk to clients, like when I'm with that that sales call or demo calls or things like that, they first ask me, the startups, they usually ask, they want to get into community, they want to build, they see that there is a future, but they're skeptical because there's a lot of effort, it takes time, and it also needs a lot of resources, and the bandwidth is like a lot. So they kind of internally also, it's not just external, internally also, every company has its own year goal, right? Like the particular entire year's goal they have. And if they kind of do not have community in their picture, then it's going to be like totally out of the question right now. But if they have community in their that to be like one of the important things that they need to focus on, I think they should all be able to like be prepared that it is going to take time, it is going to take a lot of bandwidth, it is not going to be for sure a 9 to 5 job. It can be sometimes there is a very thin layer also. Sometimes the community can also become customer support at some places, because your customer comes there and then they want to share whatever they feel, all the inhibitions. So you need to like know and draw that thin line as well. It's going to be like a taxing work, but the most difficult part of it is making them believe that this has future, making them believe that this is a very important and integral part of their business strategy. It is not marketing channel, it is not a channel for them to get sales or leads or something like that. Those are all byproducts. Definitely those are all byproducts, because it is very simple. If you're building a relationship with your customers, if you're genuinely trying to connect with your customers and genuinely trying to give them whatever they need through community, you will definitely get whatever you give, or maybe more than that as well. Because when I worked with a community with Mishu, so it's a D2C brand 2 years ago, I understood this very, very clearly, that it kind of initially when we started building, so this was exactly the scenario that it was an experiment. They wanted to see how community building is going to be very, very helpful for their retention and activation, because signups were through the roof. Activation and retention is something that they were looking forward to like build, and they were amazing that they started community and they realized the value of it. I think now it's doing really, really amazing. But when I started out at that point of time, it was just an experiment and they wanted to give it a try. And when I tried, the potential, the potential that community opened up is like multifaceted, because like when I started in the first month, I just onboarded 100 people, and the end of 6 months they were 1 lakh and odd members inside, and we had almost 20% to 40% of engagement every day. And there were literally 30,000 plus people who were active throughout that whole period. And apart from all these things, they were able to grow their referral network through this. They were able to get so much of feedback for their products, for their categories that they were planning to launch. So many things right then and there, the insights that they would have to send survey, wait for them to like force them to do something. This all happened in no time, just because we built that relationship with them. And eventually activation became pretty easier for us, because we identified the superstar advocates or champions inside a community. They guided the people who joined the community new. So kind of really went well. It just took 6 months.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that amazing insight, because it makes you think that for a particular company, like the one you spoke of, the beautiful way in which they utilize their community champions and ambassador to do the work for them, really. And I think that experiment went really as a big hit. I mean, just continuing on the same question, because yeah, it's giving me so many follow-up questions in my head right now. So you have been at many places as a community success and a builder, right? What how do I put it? Like, do you still need to convince people to have community, like inside the organization, be it A, B, C, different places that you were in? So I know they hire you and they also sometimes don't know what to do with the role. Again, I know it. Similar things have happened with me for solutions engineering, and I give them the benefit of doubt that in India we still don't know these roles, right? So do you think the organizations internally also pose a lot of challenges for you while building these initiatives? And what is like, if you remember something which is common throughout these different communities that you have built in different places, like one common challenge, what you see internally from the organizations?
as I said, it's the belief. So what I did was I created a manual gamification and not gamification as such, but rewarding system in place. So that manual rewarding system, when we created and people started getting featured, it so happened that they started calling the customer service people and then asked, what is this happening in community? I also want to participate. Is there something that I can do? I want to get featured over here. I feel this is really amazing. It's a great opportunity for me to share my knowledge. And, it feels so good to be recognized for whatever I know. It kind of reached to different departments with the people who were in touch with the customers. Like, for example, customer service, it was D2C or B2C, you have customer service and not success. So they also were in touch with the product people because they usually go for the surveys and all of that stuff. So every people, key people in different departments started to get some queries around it, and they felt, what is exactly happening? So that is when those people started checking out community themselves. And after that, it kind of, we all started, we go to the the whiteboard together, every one person from the team, we go together and then we work towards that community in such a way that the entire week is packed, not just only for one department but everyone, right? That stakeholder management was done so well because we all came into a room and everyone had a singular goal. And that goal, it kind of broke. That challenge was basically broken. People who never saw what community was, despite that being there, it's the customers, I mean the members themselves, who became my advocate, or basically they started telling that this is something that I really like to participate, or them telling the people whomever they're in touch with inside the organization, that this is something that I always look forward to as one of their favorite answers. So this kind of made them feel, what exactly is this? So this created that intrigue. But if I have to give a suggestion, I would say start with a pilot. So let's say you don't have to create community. Your community exists right there. You have X number of customers out there, and your business, actually you feel that there is a need for them to bring together, because that kind of opens up an opportunity to connect with them and build that relationship. Then yes, why not? And you don't have to spend so much in going for a platform and all that stuff. Initially start with a free platform, be it WhatsApp or anything that you're comfortable with. Create that relationship first, and you feel that there is something that's sparking, and you feel that there is something that you're able to like take from here, and the organizations can take, also the customers. Go and pitch it to your management or the leadership team and say that this is what I saw, this is something that I feel that it could be done better, and these are the byproducts that we would get. And then you go for the buy-in. So I think that's how you should roll.
I mean, suddenly in my head, there is a competition kind of stuff going on, because I have worked with many customer success people in my different organizations. And, ultimately you start to feel like, okay, this is a good one. He or she does their job well. And I still have high regards for a few of them, but you're definitely matching my frequency somewhere really highly, because and I respect people, who know how to do their job right, in the right way. So good Lord, you are something else, Vara, and this is truly fantastic. Thank you so much for being so candid and answering these questions.
Pleasure is mine.
I can go on asking you questions, but this is like the final question that I have for you, Shikes, which is, how does having a podcast for a company help the company in reality?
It does in a lot of way, because I see podcast as one of the content formats. It's nothing different. I mean, it's just like you create a blog. So initially blog was something that is, people were so freaked out about, because they were like SEO, blog. And now blog is still very important. It is not that it's not important, but we are so used to the term blog. It's similarly, and after that video came into picture, and we were like, we need to create YouTube videos, we need to create that video, we need to create this video, we need to have an explainer video, blah blah blah.
Right.
Similarly, we have podcasts, right? So this is another format of content that you would like to present. But what I see, that podcast is really very helpful is because it's just an audio form. It's like what we have, the conversation, right? So you can't miss it out. You can have external stakeholder based podcast, which is your existing customers, or you can have podcasts with your partners, or you can have podcasts with influencers who you think are very much related to your business. You can have podcasts with different set of stakeholders, like even like your own members, your community members themselves. So it kind of has a different, for each of it you have different KPIs. Now if I have a podcast within my with people who are inside the let's say community, it means that I am taking the champions and I'm trying to like build a story, I try to tell the story of that champion outside. That means that they would feel extremely involved into the community. So what is podcast bringing to the organization? It kind of creates an additional channel for them to stay engaged, stay connected to the organization, to the community. And if it is going to be partners, for example, it could be like strategic partnership or anything of that sort that you would want to like, you have, if an organization have different partners or potential partnership chances are there, because of the podcast they could become your partners. Like I will tell you one simple example that I started podcast very recently, and it's not out yet. It will be out in the month of April, mid or April, May. So I interviewed 4 community leaders across the globe. So when I interviewed, one person turned out and said, "Hey, I really like your product. Would you like to give me a demo?" So I was like, "Wow, that's amazing." And he said, "I would like to be an advocate for whatever you guys are doing, and that's really nice. And I really like the product. And if you have any referral thing, please do share it with us." So that kind of turned out to be an opportunity, which he might be our advocate, in a different way, right? We found someone like that. There's one more person who started, registering for the events that we have in the future, right? So if you want to see any changes in the organization, immediately it will not be like affecting your ROI, but it is definitely going to help you in your content. It is definitely going to put you in the radar, and it is also going to create a very small level of leverage for you to get closer to whoever you're trying to engage with.
I really enjoyed these questions with you because your answer were so witty, so relevant, and you weren't, hiding anything. You were actually trying to share whatever knowledge you have with all of us. So this really makes sense. To me, at least, it made a lot of sense to me actually. And in case Vara, you have any parting thoughts or any wrapping up statement that you would want to give, please go ahead.
First of all, thank you so much for taking your time on a Saturday afternoon and setting up this interview. It is so nice of you. And other than that, I think you should do a lot of interviews like this. Probably there are so many amazing community builders out there. There are so many people who are a bit introverted, but they might know a lot of things than what I know, than what of so many other community builders know. So this knowledge has to be spread. So I think that's something we can definitely do. And other than that, it's not an advice or something, but it's more like a friendly suggestion that community, I mean, like it might look, it's like, your mutual fund or your long-term investment goal or something like that, right? Like you get stocks from your company or something like that, but you don't vest very soon, or you don't buy anything very soon. You keep it for your long-term investment. So similarly, even your mutual fund, right? Like you increment, your compounded effect will be like higher when you increase your increment every month, but you have to consistently do it for every month. So similarly, community is like that. You don't have to worry, it is going to take care of you very soon. So start investing in communities, start getting closer to your customers, know your customers more. That will actually like help you in a lot of ways. That's something that I would like to conclude with.
Thank you so much. And I absolutely love that analogy of mutual funds and how it grows. Man, that is something else. Thank you so much, Vara, for giving me this time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.